side gate will all be set for the big one of the afternoon. Here comes to honor and serve to the outside gate. He goes in, gate closed, they're all set. There's the roar from the crowd. They're on their way in the $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic. Game On Dude got a flyer. But on the outside, Uncle Mo's right up alongside. So Game On Dude and Uncle Mo go on to lead them early. On the extreme outside to honor and serve is right there. Stay Thirsty's tucking in right behind them. So You Think got a beautiful spot down on the inside. He's keen to go on. He's pulling hard as So You Think. A length and a half off the leaders. Then we come back to Headache. Now here's Havre de Grace. Havre de Grace is racing back in 7th, but only 4 lengths off the leaders. The pace very honest early. Then we drop back to Flat Out, who's racing at the back of the leading group. Another gap of 4 back to Drosselmeyer, Ruler on Ice, and Icebox. The last 2, they're 11 off the leaders. On to the backstretch they go in the Classic, and Game On Dude at a strong pace. In the second position is Uncle Mo. And on the inside we have So You Think, a close-up third. The far side to honor and serve is in 4th. Stay Thirsty 5th, only 4 lengths off the leaders. Then Havre de Grace, Headache alongside of her. Flat Out is racing back in the 8th spot, 7 off the leaders. Then Drosselmeyer, Ruler on Ice behind that. And last by a long, long way is Rattlesnake Bridge. Rattlesnake Bridge is last. Into the turn they go. Game On Dude taken on by Uncle Mo. Uncle Mo goes looking for the lead to honor and serve, makes it 3 in a line. Game On Dude battles back at the rail. Uncle Mo's right there. On the far side to honor and serve. So You Think crying out for room. So You Think could be dangerous. Can he get through? He's in the 4th spot. Havre de Grace making her run on the outside. Homeward bound in the Classic. Game On Dude. So You Think gets a run on the inside. Uncle Mo's right there to honor and serve in the red cap on the outside. Stay Thirsty. Havre de Grace tries to get involved late, but Game On Dude is just battling them all off. Game On Dude has the lead. Here's Drosselmeyer out of the clouds. Drosselmeyer from nowhere, and Drosselmeyer and Mike Smith have beaten Chantel Sutherland on Game On Dude. Ruler on Ice finishes 3rd, and Havre de Grace was 4th. What a finish to the Classic. It looked like Game On Dude have it, but Mike Smith had other ideas, and Drosselmeyer, like a ghost on the outside in those white colours, caught Game On Dude close home. Drosselmeyer wins.
Mike Smith experiencing heartbreak in the 2010 Breeders' Cup Classic, breaks the heart of Chantel Sutherland here, and Game On Dude, when it looked like they had victory in hand, Drosselmeyer comes storming by.
Wow, he was moving late, and you could tell Mike Smith, one of the best left hands ever to be on a horseback. And look at the horse on the complete far outside. Mike Smith with that patented left hand runs down Chantel Sutherland. What a fitting after Zenyatta lost to Blame last year. Tom, look at the Belmont, and he does it with his other runner in here, Drosselmeyer, catching Game On Dude and Bob Baffert.
Drosselmeyer, another horse prepared very, very well this week. Worked in company with another Belmont horse. Excellent work, excellent performance today, and the race really set up for a deep closer based on what the pace was today. Drosselmeyer benefited from that quick pace.
3-8, and it would appear the 4 Ruler on Ice was 3rd, but no doubt about your winner here, Drosselmeyer for WinStar Farms. And Drosselmeyer was part of that fantastic Triple Crown season for WinStar Farm just a year ago. Mike Smith taking off the helmet here, and now he gets a chance to bask in a Breeders' Cup Classic win. Let's be honest, it's been a little slow for him after Zenyatta's retirement, but again, he shows how he can ride at the highest levels of this game.
I always say this whenever you watch sporting events. Big-time people do big-time things in big-time spots, and he's a big-time rider, Tom.
No doubt about it. I mean, he is a man that rides when the money is down, and the money was down today.
And what a moment here for Drosselmeyer and Mike Smith, Christina.
Absolutely. Mike Smith, the heartbreak, we all saw it on his face last year, the tears in the post-race interviews with Zenyatta. I think every time I go back and see that replay, I still think she might get there, but little bit bittersweet, I'm sure, for him. He's got to enjoy this big win, but it has to take him back to the moment this time last year.
It certainly does, but he'll be very, very happy here. $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic. Belmont second. And I got to tell you, Bill Mott's done a tremendous job with all his runners this week. He's won the Ladies Classic, the Breeders' Cup Classic. He was second the Breeders' Cup Marathon. A concerted effort to point his horses for this races, Matt. He bought his horses in 4 weeks ago, specifically to get them over the track, 2 or 3 works. It's paid off. His horses have worked well all week long. We have never seen Drosselmeyer finish like this in a race. Even Bill alluded in a pre-race interview, he'll pick up the pieces. He showed a burst of acceleration. Mike Smith's ridden this horse twice. He's won the Belmont, and now he's won the Classic.
Yeah, obviously an incredible win. A horse I didn't even know where he was until somewhere between the 8th pole and the 16th pole of this race. And there's Mike Smith. He won earlier with Regally Ready as well. And, you know, the thing about this race is I think now afterwards we can look at some of the horses that were the morning line favorites and a lot of the action. You know, it's not 1.25 mile horses. This is a horse who won the Belmont, obviously at 1.5 miles. You know, the pace was decent up front. Game on Dude in defeat. I mean, he put everybody away, whether it was to honor and serve, whether it was Uncle Mo, and he couldn't hold off Drosselmeyer down the center of the racetrack to get up and win. And
Todd, Mike Smith right behind you there.
For those not familiar with the story, Paul used to live in the same apartment building as Mike Smith when you were playing with the Dodgers back in Los Angeles. You guys have remained great friends since. And so he's talking to the folks at ESPN. That's Jerry Bailey actually talking to him now, one of the most successful riders in thoroughbred racing history, particularly.
He said something to Jerry, too. He went to Jerry and said, I told you.
Yeah. And so they're at 14-1. It is Drosselmeyer pulling off the upset. And now Mike Smith gets to go back to the Winner's Circle celebration he wanted so desperately last year. It's delayed for him, but it comes here in 2011 in an upset.
So the riders now this year, they can advertise in their pants. So do you think with the Jeff Ruby advertisement on Mike Smith's pants that that's where he'll be tonight?
Yeah.
Partying it up. There you go. You're looking right at it.
Yeah,
Jeff Ruby's.
To quote the great late Woody Stevens, the steaks sure tasted sweet that night.
You know what? And I think this is fitting for Mike because I thought he got unwarranted about his ride on Zenyatta. She just took a little time to warm up that night and a little time to get going, and a little redemption here with Drosselmeyer.
And this certainly throws into chaos who's going to be your horse of the year. What about the other part to this story with Uncle Mo? It was a chance for him to have redemption. And what about the performance he turned in?
What we sort of thought, Tom.
Yeah.
I mean, just listen. The horse.
He's a good horse.
He's a very good horse, but he's a one-turn horse. Bottom line, what else do you need to say?
I was distracted by the cheers behind us when Mike Smith came back to the winner's circle. The cheers were just as loud last year when Mike Smith brought back Zenyatta. They got beat. I find that ironic. Here he is.
Yeah,
he wins
that's
it,
right. Yeah.
And here they are. They're cheering for him just as they did in defeat last year.
Yeah, he's been in a position where he couldn't lose the last 2 years, provided he won this year.
Yeah, right.
So there he is, Mike Smith with another moment in his Hall of Fame career, and it just keeps on going for him. And, you know, to be honest, it has been an up and down year for him, as we talked about off the racetrack a little bit. He had a situation at Del Mar before that meet got underway, but he has put those incidents behind him once again, and he has risen to the top of the thoroughbred sport.
Well, listen, Mikey is one of my close friends, and he has had some issues ever since Zenyatta, and he took that very personally. Let me tell you, when Zenyatta lost last year, it really crushed him. For him to be back in the spotlight, that's the way he should be. 3 winners on the card today. He's just a top-class rider, and this horse obviously gets along with them. The Belmont and now the Breeders' Cup Classic. The only 2 times this horse has been ridden by Mike Smith, the horse has won.
And Tom, speak to your trainers fraternity here. Bill Mott is really an example of the best of the American trainers.
He is indeed, and he comes from the lineage that has produced great trainers, and that's the Jack Vanberg lineage. Bill Mott worked underneath him, went on his own. Here he is this weekend alone, wins the Breeders' Cup Classic as well as the Ladies' Classic. What a daily double that is for him, and that's going to ensure that he'll be talked about for years to come and go down just as his former boss Jack Vanberg has as one of the greatest.
They do have a slight delay for prices here. They're informing the audience.
I mean, the tote delay, I mean, the numbers are going to just...
I think they short-circuited the tote board here, but you can see they have posted the order of finish 3-8 4-10-2. So your super high five, 3-8-4-10-2. That's 14-1, over 14-1, over 17-1, over 4-1, and the 2 going off as your favorite in here, Flat Out. And Flat Out is, again, looking at some of these high-profile horses that everyone expected maybe the win could come from. Flat Out trains well in the mornings at Churchill, but